Each year, the graduating class selects a student speaker. This year's speaker is Kacy Tellessen. Kacy joined the Marine Corps Infantry directly out of high school and deployed twice to Iraq as an infantry machine gunner with 2nd Battalion and 3rd Marines from 2005 to 2009. After the Marines, Kacy attended Eastern Washington University and earned a bachelor's degree in creative writing. Kacy's essays have been published in the New York Times, Task and Purpose, The War Horse, and Zero Dark 30 Literary Journal. His debut memoir, Freaks of a Feather, was published during his 1L year and received the 2003 National Museum of the Marine Corps' Eugene Sledge Award, given for the best marine memoir written in the past 3 years. Kacy served as the managing editor for Gonzaga Law Review and was a member of the Moot Court Honor Council. He currently lives in Spangle, where he grew up with his wife and 2 children. Kacy.
Thank you, Dean Rooksby, and distinguished guests. I want to start by thanking the graduating class of 2023 for the honor of being the commencement speaker. I came to law school as one of the geriatric law students, as I'm about a decade older than all my fellow classmates. And the fact that all of you wonderful young people decided to adopt me really makes an old guy proud. I would also like to thank my family, my wife Melissa, my son Waylon, and my daughter Nora. There were times when law school was all-consuming. I would never have been standing here without your support, and I love you very much. When the school first notified me that I had the horrifying responsibility of being the commencement speaker, I thought to myself, ah yes, law school strikes again. One final stress bomb to end the experience with. But after pacing back and forth like a nervous wreck at the thought of speaking in front of the entire class and the professors that struck an Old Testament fear in me for the past few years, the anxiety was replaced with a feeling of gratitude. I'm grateful that you all trusted me with the weight of this responsibility. So I thought of how best to honor all of you and the experience we all just endured. I've always thought that brevity and concision were virtues, so I sought to encapsulate our experience into a single word. I first turned to one of the large tomes in the library, a frayed, hulking copy of Black's Law Dictionary. I flipped through the onion-skinned pages, seeking a regal and important-sounding word. I even thought about scooping up one of those fancy-pants Latin words, which the law seems to be so fond of. I thought if I could take one, I could wield it up here like a Harry Potter spell and just dazzle the crowd. But like most $2 words and Latin phrases, they should probably stay as far away from your writing as humanly possible. All the words I came across, though, they seemed hollow and plastic. Though they made this experience sound transcendent, which it is, they failed to tell the story of the experience. I needed a word that could contain a multitude. A word that could capture the anamorphism of our shared experience. Well, that's when I knew I was in trouble, because I was using words like anamorphism. I knew I was in a rabbit hole I was going to have to claw my way out of. With my word search and abject failure, I decided to go home and shut my brain off in front of the TV. As I sat down to aimlessly scroll the movie options for an hour before just going to bed, I came across the word. I saw it in bold red letters above James Caan and Kathy Bates' faces. And that's when I knew I'd found it. The word that encapsulates our law school experience is misery. Mr. Webster tells us that misery is a state or feeling of great distress or discomfort of mind or body. Now, for some of you that are hearing that word to describe our experience, they might gasp or clutch your pearls, but that is a response of the uninitiated. One of the most important things I learned as a Marine infantryman in Iraq was that misery is a gift. The pain, the agony, the trials, the defeats, all essential to realizing who you are as a person. What law school has given us is a gift of misery, a gift of being pushed to our intellectual limits, more so for our class as we endured law school during the madness of the pandemic. Law school is already a paranoia and stress-drenched atmosphere, so when you sprinkle in the sheer uncertainty of the global pandemic, the tension really grew to palpable levels. But this class, they carried on. We wore our little masks and doused ourselves in hand sanitizer as we waited for the impending cold calls in class that would assuredly ruin our reputation in the school for all time. But we kept moving forward, and the strangeness and the stress of it all became white noise as we marched toward our goal of a little piece of paper with our name on it. Before we all started this path, we had an idea of who we were as students, as people. And now, for better or worse, we know this is a gift. But this gift of misery is so much more than that, for you can carry it with you for the rest of your life. When your back is against the wall and you're facing what feels like insurmountable odds, you can think back on this misery you endured and know that you can keep moving forward. This is one of the greatest gifts that a person can receive, the knowledge of knowing you are capable of going just a little farther than the average person. Now, in a parting message to the graduating class of 2023, I want to give you my sincere thank you for our shared experience. I came here with a chip on my shoulder, thinking that as a grizzled old war vet, I had nothing to learn from you. I couldn't have been more wrong. You all taught me that when old folk like myself say that this next generation is afraid of work, they haven't seen a law school library on a Saturday night before finals. In the end, much of my education here came from my classmates, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. I want you all to take the weekend to be proud of yourself, pat yourself on the back for a job well done. You definitely earned it. But I also want you to think about one of my favorite sayings, and that's it. Nobody cares, work harder. The real job starts on Monday. Finally, I would like to thank the Gonzaga School of Law, the faculty, and my classmates for an experience that was truly miserable. I know it will serve me well. Thank you very much.